Slasher Spree, where mysteries and terror be and darkness comes for you and me. Join us on a Slasher Spree. There's no place to hide, and soon you'll see siblings on a Slasher Spree.
We did it!
We did what?
We made it to episode 13. I know this will be the 13th episode of Slasher Siblings to air, and obviously, this number holds a special place in our hearts. So, why not make it today's topic?
Do we have enough material for an entire episode on a single number?
Well, we do. I think
Hmm.
we may have to improv some entertaining banter along the way, but we got that on lock.
Ooh, yes. Okay, so where do we start?
Well, I'm very glad you asked. This next part is so unnecessary. I'm excited about it. Kristen, please tell the listeners, just so we start off in a very clear place, what the number 13 is.
This is dumb. I'm not saying that.
No, just follow the script.
13 is the natural number following 12 and preceding 14.
What?
You're right. That was entirely unnecessary. For those of you that didn't know.
And yet, it is a fact. So we're off to a good start. Strikingly folkloric aspects of the number 13 have been noted in various cultures around the world. One theory is that this is due to the cultures employing lunar solar calendars.
Yeah, so there are approximately 12.41 lunations per solar year, and hence 12 true months. January to December. That's your
Thank
12.
you.
Yeah. Plus a smaller and often ominous 13-month. This is where some of the superstitious origins began.
Right. So before we get into the meat of the number, like the bad and good luck associated to it, let's explore some randomness and fun facts. Like, for instance, did you know that 13 is the atomic number for aluminum?
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Wow, a fun fact indeed. Ooh.
Yeah, okay, so maybe that fell into the randomness category. What do you got?
Okay, let me drop some fun facts on you that are actually fun facts. The number 13 is significant across many cultures and religions. In all branches of Christianity, for example, it's said that Christ had 12 disciples, thus forming a group of 13. Fun, it's a stretch. It's best known by the representations of the Last Supper.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
in Shia, which is the second largest branch of Islam,
Oh.
13 signifies the 13th day of the month of Rajab in the lunar calendar, which is the birth of Imam Ali. 13 is also the total of one prophet and 12 Shia imams in the Islamic school of thought.
What?
What a fascinating start we are off to.
Facts.
In Catholicism, the apparitions of the Virgin of Fatima in 1917 were claimed to occur on the 13th day of 6 consecutive months. In Catholic devotional practice, the number 13 is also associated with Saint Anthony of Padua. Since Sir Anthony's, or I guess that would make him a duke, not a saint. Sir Anthony.
What the hell is that?
I have no idea.
Okay, so anyways, this Anthony fella, his feasts would fall on June 13th. So there you go.
Right. A traditional devotion called the 13 Tuesdays of St. Anthony involves praying to the saint every Tuesday over a period of 13 weeks.
In Judaism, 13 signifies the age at which a boy matures and becomes a bar mitzvah.
Opa!
Opa! Dun 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
This making him a full member of the Jewish faith. Further, according to rabbinic commentary, rabbinic. So is that like something that a rabbi would
Yes.
comment
Rabbinic.
on?
Rabbinic.
Rabbinic. Okay. Yes, rabbinic. Where was I? Rabbinic commentary on the Torah. God has 13 attributes of mercy.
Hmm.
This is getting
And
very Jesus-y.
I mean,
Not a
it's
lot of
funny that this,
religion.
yeah, this reoccurring theme seems to keep popping into our podcast where like all these things that are like weird or spooky or like the origins seem to always be religious. Just so
Bit of a
weird.
bummer.
I know it is a bit of a buzzkill. But okay, well, here's a bit of a switch.
Ooh.
According to Aztec mythology, the 13 heavens were formed by the gods from the head of Sapactli during creation.
Are you a god?
For context, Sapactli was a primeval sea monster.
Ooh, a sea monster.
Part crocodilian. That's a fun way to say it. Crocodilian. So anyway, he was part crocodilian, part fish, and part toad or frog. The research is vague on which, with indefinite gender. Always hungry, every joint on its body was adorned with an extra mouth.
Sounds like Phoebe.
Yeah, like I'm assuming you mean.
Oh,
you
like
mean
my
your dog, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, because she's like a mix of different funny-looking dogs.
Oh, okay.
And would eat from now until the end of time.
Yeah, that's
always
that's
hungry.
Fair.
Yep. In a tarot card deck, 13 is the card of death. Bum, bum, bum. Usually picturing the pale horse with its rider. However, in tarot, death is often seen as a symbol of transformation or rebirth. A common tradition in the religion Wicca holds that the number of members for a coven is ideally 13, though this tradition is not universal. Randall, tell me, can you speak to this? I recall you being a card-wielding Wiccan back in your teen years. I remember your tarot card book was like purple and you would deal with cards, but you didn't know what any of them meant, so you had to then open the book and read.
Correct.
Because you didn't put enough effort into like what the cards actually meant.
You know how hard it is to memorize the upside and downside meaning of an entire deck of cards?
I mean, probably not that hard.
It's pretty hard, okay? It's not my full-time job. I needed to reference the book. But yes.
Tell me about it.
In the era of dial-up internet and when Pluto...
That's the sign dial-up internet used to make.
Yes, actually, and some people may not know that.
See?
Yeah, that's
Informational.
true. Next generation. And yes,
Educational.
when Pluto was still a planet, Randella, the teenage witch, reigned supreme. This is a moment in time I have not thought about in a while. Oh my god, do you remember that like little altar I used to have in my bedroom? And it was essentially just a TV tray with a black tablecloth from Dollarama thrown over it, you know, for my candles and crystals.
Yes.
I remember mom hating the smell of incense. And I think it was around that same time I became a vegetarian who didn't like or eat vegetables.
That sounds correct. Yes.
Our poor parents, good Lord.
Yeah. There's a lot to unpack there. I'm remembering... Was the incense burner like a dragon?
I did have a dragon one at a time. Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, lots happening. I don't want to tug at that string, so let's continue. The great United States of America was created from 13 British colonies, and as such, the number 13 is a commonly reoccurring motif in American emblems or insignias.
Mm.
For example, there were originally 13 stars on the Great Seal of the United States and 13 stripes on the American flag until 1795.
Dang. More fun facts coming your way. The the number 13 was not used in the Indianapolis 500 from 1915 to 2002. And it was not permitted for use between 1926 and 2002. Crazy. In 2009, EJ Vizo, driving
Mhm.
for HVM Racing in the 2009 Indy Car Series season, drove a green number 13 car full time, despite terrible superstitions about it in motorsports. Right? The
Gasp.
gall, the gumption. The number 13 was also not used in Formula One from 1977 to 2013. And it is crazy to me that superstitions are so prominent in our society. Like the
Mm.
entire concept seems so ludicrous to me.
Yeah, like is the whole 13th floor like on in a hotel, or wasn't that like not a thing for the longest time?
Yeah, it still is in most, but my apartment building and my work building do not have a floor 13.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
I
it
work
has
on
a
the
floor
well,
13, but
yeah. I work on the
right.
12th floor. I thought that was like a thing of the past, like dial-up
Nope.
internet. So this now brings us to the superstitious concept of luck, both good and bad.
Mm.
Researchers estimate that as many as 10% of the US population has a fear of the number 13, and each year, the even more specific fear of Friday the 13th, known as paraskevidekatriophobia.
Paraskevidekatriophobia.
Nailed
That
it.
was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Results in financial losses in excess of $800 million annually
What?
as people avoid marrying, traveling, or in the most severe cases, even working. My
Oh.
boss was actually married on a Friday the 13th.
So, am I able to claim this as like a mental health day if I'm like, oh, I've got paraskevidekatriophobia,
Paraskevidekatriophobia.
so I can't
Yeah.
work on any day that is 13?
Give it a go.
I'll email HR in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay, so an early myth surrounding the origin of the fear involved one of the world's oldest legal documents from 1792 to 1750
Jesus.
BCE. Long time ago.
Damn.
It was called the Code of Hammurabi. Hammurabi?
The Code of Hammurabi.
Sure.
Hammurabi.
Hammurabi, which
Yep.
reportedly omitted a 13th law from its list of legal rules. In reality, the omission was no more than a clerical error made by one of the document's earliest translators who failed to include a line of text. In fact, the code doesn't numerically list its laws at all.
Mathematicians and scientists, meanwhile, point to excellence of the number 12, often considered a perfect number in the ancient world. The ancient Sumerians
Correct.
developed a numeral system based on the use of 12 that is still used for measuring time today. Most calendars, as we reviewed earlier, have 12 months, January to December. Uh, a single day consists of two 12-hour half days, etc. Following so closely on the heels of a perfect number, some argue that 13 was sure to be found lacking and unusual.
That is sound logic. This
Science.
fear, science. This fear of the unknown would seem to play into two other popular theories for the number's unlucky connotation, both of which revolve around the appearance of a 13th guest at two ancient events. in the Bible, Judas Iscariot, the 13th guest to arrive at the Last Supper, is the
Oh,
person who betrays Jesus,
yes.
right? So
Mm.
not great number
Judas.
for that
Judas.
supper.
Judas.
Judah.
Is that a
I
song?
I think I just merged two songs together. I don't know what the other one was. Moving on.
Lady Gaga.
Meanwhile, well, that's the one I was going for, but that's Bad Romance, though.
Oh, I thought that's what you were singing.
Well, I was trying to sing Judas, but that was Bad Romance. So I
Oh, does
think
she have a song called Judas?
yes.
Oh.
Judas, 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 Judas.
Right. It's not that we cleared that out.
Anyway, meanwhile,
Uh,
ancient Norse lore holds that evil and turmoil were first introduced in the world by the appearance of the treacherous and mischievous god Loki at a dinner party in Valhalla. He was also the 13th guest, upsetting the balance of the 12 gods already in attendance.
Loki is such a cute little like dog name.
It is.
Loki. Like
Little
that
Loki.
Judas has like a
Judas has a very like hard, I'm gonna
Yeah.
stab you type feel, whereas
Loki
Loki's
is
kind of
just
like,
like, sorry guys, I ran late.
yeah, like Loki might stab you, but it's just because he's having fun with a knife.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it was
So
intentional.
it also seems as if unexplained fears surrounding the number 13 are a primarily Western construct. Some cultures, including the ancient Egyptians, actually considered the number to be lucky, while others have simply swapped numbers as the base of their phobias. 4 is avoided in much of Asia, for example.
And according to the Stress Management Center and Phobia Institute in Asheville, North Carolina, more than 80% of high rise buildings in the United States do not have a 13th floor.
Here we go.
Here we go. And the vast majorities of hotels, hospitals, and airports avoid using the number for rooms and gates as well.
Huh.
The
And it's
learning.
still, yeah, you know, all right. With that though, in much of East and Southeast Asia, where tetraphobia is the norm, you'd be hard pressed to find much use of the number 4 in private or public life, thanks to similar sounds for the Chinese language words for 4 and death.
Hmm.
There you go. And if this episode were on the number 4, we would explore that further. But it's not. So carry on.
Great point. And we certainly don't need any help going down rabbit holes. So, since we've sprinkled some numerical knowledge on everyone, why don't we lighten things up a bit with our favorite movies on the topic? I almost feel bad that mine is going to be totally predictable, but an icon is an icon, and I'm not going to apologize for it. So, Kristen, what movie will you be referencing today?
A drum roll, please. I am going to be talking about the movie 13 Ghosts.
Oh.
So this is a 2001 supernatural horror film directed by Steve Beck.
Yes.
So quick little synopsis. So ghost hunter Cyrus and his psychic assistant Dennis lead a team on a mission to capture a spirit called the Juggernaut.
Oh.
Several men, including Cyrus, are killed while the team is so
Maybe give a spoiler shout out.
okay. Yeah, because I guess we don't want to do that.
No, you know what? It's from 2001. If in
you
the
haven't
last
seen it?
22 years, 23 years you haven't watched
Okay.
13 Ghosts, then sorry, but
I can't believe that's how long ago that was. That's upsetting.
and we saw it in theaters, I believe, with Papa Slasher.
My God. That's why we were talking at work the other day about one of the guys at work took his daughters to see the new Mean Girls.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, no, like Mean Girls, it's not old enough like to have a remake done, right?
Mm,
And aside
hmm
from the two partners at work, I'm actually the oldest person in my office, which is horrifying.
That's amazing.
So the one guy was like, "Oh, I don't know," and he like, looks it up, and he's like, "Oh, Mean Girls was made in like 2002." And I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
Anyways, I spoiled some of it. Long story short, Cyrus then leaves his home to his nephew. His nephew has kids. It's a thing. There's a funny nanny in it. They move into the house, yada yada. Chaos ensues.
Can you guess
Loved
how
it.
many ghosts are in the basement, though?
Is that a question for the viewers?
It is. This will be on the test.
So this movie terrified me as a kid. I thought it was like the scariest thing.
Yeah.
The movie has Matthew Lillard, which, if you don't know, he rubbed my shoulders on stage at Comic-Con. What was it? Like, what
Fan
was the
Expo.
Fan Expo? Well, we played Family Feud together with Nev Campbell.
It was.
Flipping my hair right now. You
I could
can't
hear
tell.
it.
Okay.
I could hear it. I could hear it in the tone of your voice.
And I just adore him. He's so good. Yeah, it really scared me as a kid. And the movie, so obviously there's a number of these ghosts and they're like, I don't know if trapped is the right word, kept in this house, and you can only see them with like these like special ghost goggles. The more I talk about
So
it, the
cool.
more I'm like, oh, that's
How
why it has
ridiculous.
19% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It only has 19% on Rotten Tomatoes.
19%, yeah. It's
Oh
rough.
man. I mean, I haven't watched it in a long time, so
So that's the other. So I mean, I watched it. I watch it constantly through like Halloween because I'm ancient and I still have cable.
mhm.
And it's always on, like AMC does that Halloween movie marathon where it's just like the
Yes.
entire month of October they just play like scary movies. And this one plays constantly. And Leo's like, "Are you watching this movie again?"
Again.
Like, yes. But yeah, I watched it like for the first time since being a kid. I don't know, probably a couple years ago now.
Mm.
And I was like, oh. this is
I don't
this
know.
is
I
not what
vividly
I recall.
remember. I think one of the ghosts is like the jackal or the jackal
Yes.
or something with the head in the cage.
Yeah. Yep.
Terrifying. I still remember that scene in the movie when they're in the basement and the
Mm-hmm.
jackal, I think, is like out of his cage or whatever you want to call it, and he's
Yep.
running down the hallway.
Yes.
Oh my god, it's actually
I
still
know.
scary. The whole movie maybe not super scary,
Yeah.
but that scene is pretty scary from what I remember 22 years ago.
You know what? Don't watch it again. Just let that live in your heart.
Yeah, maybe I will. Maybe I will.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also like I noticed too, like watching it as a more cultured adult,
Oh.
um, things that like they obviously pulled from um like classic, I'm gonna say older horror movies.
Okay.
Like The Shining, right? There's a scene in 13 Ghosts where like this woman's in the bathtub and it's like a thing. Um like you can it just like screams this was inspired by The Shining, like that specific
Oh,
bathtub
okay.
scene. So yeah, it was really interesting watching it as an adult and picking up like, oh, he totally pulled like this ghost from this person or this ghost from that scene or that kind of thing. But yeah,
I
I
like
think
that.
that's that.
I think I might actually watch it, but from like a research perspective now, because I can be like, "Oh, well, I'm reviewing this for another podcast."
Sure. You want to do a whole episode on 13 Ghosts?
I mean, we could. I don't
We
know
could
who
do a
would
lot of
listen
things.
to it, but
Same people that's listening to this one? No one.
Oh.
Nobody.
Okay, well, this will not
Yeah, tell
come
me.
as a shock
Yes,
to
tell me
anyone.
what your movie is, even though we
Um,
all know it was
We
boring.
all know what it's going to be. I actually Googled a list of movies that had either the number 13 in the title or was
Okay.
somehow about the number 13. My options outside of the one I picked and 13 Ghosts, not a lot.
Oh, really? Okay.
Not a whole lot. Unless you want,
Okay.
like, you could do 13 going on 30. You
That
could
is
do
a
a
scary
little.
movie.
Yep. Or you have, like, Assault on Precinct 13, which is more of an
Oh,
action for me
yeah,
than it
that's
is a
definitely not. That's
horror.
a really decent movie. I did like that movie.
It was a great movie,
Yeah.
which apparently the one that we know and like was a remake. There is an original
Yes.
that I have never seen, but
I did
actually,
know that. I don't think I've seen it though.
I don't think I've seen the original either, but I do
Yeah.
really like the remake, and I forget who's in it,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter because it's not the one I'm about to talk about. So
Nope.
I obviously picked Friday. Friday the 13th is a classic horror film that follows a group of young camp counselors at Crystal Lake who are stalked and then brutally murdered by an unknown assailant. Thank you. Released in 1980 and directed by Sean S. Cunningham, the film is part of a popular slasher franchise, Avi. Like, you all should know this, and is
Mhm.
recognized for its influence on the horror genre. Also, I want to do a quick shout out to 1981's Saturday the 14th, directed by Howard Cohen.
Oh.
Terrible movie, but a great name and
Yes.
a great way to spoof the franchise.
Mm.
It essentially tried to do what Scary Movie was able to accomplish with the Scream franchise, but it failed miserably.
Have I seen
Um,
that?
Okay, so I'm going to date myself again. It was one of the movies on the rack at the Blockbuster that I worked with at way
Mm.
back in the day.
Mhm.
And I just thought, well, this is just ludicrous. Why you just, and it's like, it came out a year after Friday. So I'm like, these
Okay.
people must not be real. Like, they're not putting out a movie called Saturday the 14th. And yet they did. And it has a sequel,
Oh.
I think in
Is
the
it
later 80s. I don't know the exact number, but
Sunday the 15th?
no, that would have been a great idea. It's
Oh.
Saturday the 14th Strikes Back. I'm pretty sure.
Wow. What a missed opportunity. It could have been Sunday the 15th.
I know. Before you know it, we could have been into like June 27th, and
Yeah.
that would be a fun franchise. But
Uh,
yes. Anyway, that's my pick. No surprise, but it
That's
is what
fair.
it is. Yeah.
That's fair. Friday the 13th, it's a special day for the siblings as well.
Oh, yeah.
We always get together if our calendars allow. And I mean, let's be honest, we're not hanging out with each other. What are we
They
really
usually
doing?
do, except the last one where you ditched me for some like kids party or something. Because I think the last.
No.
No?
Or
did I ditch?
I was going to. But it was in October. It was an October Friday the 13th.
Yes, it was like the
And
Hail
Saturday the
Mary.
14th, Saturday the 14th, I had my kids' Halloween party. So I was like, oh my
Yes.
God, no, it's just going to be too hectic. But then I was like, okay, well, October, Friday the 13th. So no, we totally went to a haunt.
Oh, we went to a haunt, and then did I just go home? Because I don't recall
I think
being
mom
there.
took you home in the morning. Like, I think you went home Saturday morning.
Or
Because you
did
were
I
like,
just?
bye.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds not like something I would have
Yeah.
hung around for.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
okay, well,
So
good for us.
I don't know if we've ever. Okay, so I don't want to buzzkill the episode. I think we've
Oh,
only ever missed one, from what I can recall, like in the last at least 5 years. I think we've
mm,
only ever missed one Friday the 13th.
that's pretty good.
Yeah. And that was January of last year. And that was Dodger Passed.
Oh,
Literally
that's
on Friday the
right.
13th. Right?
That's right. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Just, on theme. He was on theme.
Oh,
Poor Dodger Bears.
I know.
So sweet. Oh, what a face. He's going to be the cover of this. social media post is just Dodger. Makes no sense.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm not
it
even mad
ties in.
about
We
it.
tied it in, you know?
We tied it in. Yeah, and no one's gonna be mad about his face on the cover.
That's true. Um, maybe what I'll do is I'll do the screenshot. Remember that photo company that used his picture?
Oh my god, for the senior dog thing.
Yeah, except what did they say? Not near
Near
death.
death? Yeah, it was like
No,
near death
near end
dogs.
of life.
Oh.
Does your dog look like this? Is your dog almost dead? Come in, have a photo shoot. Oh man.
Oh
Yeah, that's
no.
totally what I'm gonna do for our social media. That's the picture. That's the winner chicken dinner.
Okay, well, we're back and we're talking about Friday the 13th and our glorious celebrations that we undertake.
Yes.
You were about to tell us how we usually binge the movies
Oh,
from start to finish, but
yes. Yes. So in the theater, movie binging, snack eating, all of
mhm,
those delightful things. I mean, obviously there's like 85 Friday the 13th, so it's not like we ever get through them, but yeah, we always
mhm.
have a good time and we make it a to do.
We do when we can. And we also have some matchy match things to
Oh my
wear.
god.
I know we have the matching like long sleeve shirts where
Mm-hmm.
Jason is like canoeing.
Yes. Yes.
And it has like on the arms, it has all of his like different kills,
Yeah, yeah.
whatever. It's
Yeah.
fun. I always also wear my branded underwear
Mm.
and socks as well. Do you have the socks too? I can't remember if we got the same set from Spirit or not.
I have actually a few pairs of socks. And I think I have a t-shirt. Um yeah, we got some good
Oh yeah, I just picked
apparel.
up that T-shirt too from Walmart not too long ago that has his mask on it and it says Hockey Night in Canada or something.
Oh, yes, I love that one.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to wear it yet because I don't watch hockey. But one day,
What?
one
That
day
is
I
a
will.
shocking thing to learn.
I know who saw that coming. No one, not even me.
Go sports.
Sports, go sports!
Sports. Yes. When I have the desire to watch men on ice passing a puck, back and forth, I will put on my hockey shirt and be feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah, see, there you go. There's a plan for the next hockey game.
Yeah. Well, exactly. And I mean, if you have a Randy in your life, what better way to bridge the gap than to get them a Friday the 13th T-shirt that says
Perfect.
Hockey Night in Canada, and then you can have fun with the sport people too.
Go sports.
Sports.
Sports, go sports!
And on that note,
Oh,
this has been we're wrapping it, right?
I guess so. I
We've
don't know what
covered
other.
we've covered our bases.
I think we've covered our bases. I cannot.
That's a baseball reference.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yes.
Oh my God, this should be about sports. This podcast is more about sports than the number 13.
Right? Speaking
Should
of,
I Google
Taylor
who?
Swift might
What
be
about?
going to the Super Bowl.
I mean, that would really surprise no one. But has she not done it before?
Oh my god, are you living under a rock? She's
What?
dating the one of the players.
She's dating one of the players from the Super Bowl.
What? Well, no, like one of the teams, I think it's like the Chiefs, has a guy that plays for, I don't know if he's like a kicker or a
Oh,
oh my god, how do you not know this? It's like all over the world. And she
do
like
you?
goes to his games and it's just like chaos ensues because there's just like teenage girls everywhere now apparently trying to get into like these hockey games, these football games because Taylor Swift is there. But like as a
Oh,
spectator.
I mean, I don't watch the news or follow much popular culture,
Okay.
so I
Well.
wouldn't know about Taylor Swift's romantic entanglements with
Okay, well, you
members
are
of
missing
the
out.
NFL.
No.
He says
Yes.
the
Yes,
word
yes.
into the
Oh,
chat. I was
Phoebe.
right. God damn it, Phoebe.
Phoebe is just okay. So we're gonna sign off because Phoebe's making this difficult. She's gotta go potty.
Yeah, that's no problem. I
Okay.
won't talk about some athletes who wear the number 13, like Wilt Chamberlain.
What does he play?
He plays the sport of basketball.
Oh,
And he was selected to 13 All-Star games. So,
wow.
Tied it in. Sports facts, sports references. Phoebe's had enough.
Phoebe's had enough. All right, Phoebe. Signing off. She's not a sports fan. Signing off.
Well,
This has been Kristen.
And Randy.
Slashing our way into your hearts.
And nightmares.
Happy haunting.
Bye, witches.